What's up, everybody? It's Cardex. Welcome back to another episode of pYanodon's Season Trace. In the last episode, what did we do? Oh, look, more free retrovirus. Is that even needed, though? It's literally costing so little for me. It feels like I shouldn't. I'm gonna go to 5k of that, just so the buffer's bigger. Anyway, what am I actually doing here? Whoa, that's a lot of Dingert pelts. Yikes. And those can be turned into Dingert fur, which is needed for cysteine. But other than that, there's nothing we can do with it. So I'll be using it before the end of Prodsci, I guess. So we're fine. Anyway, what was I looking at? Oh, aerogel. Yeah, what's aerogel doing these days? It's not running. Oh, I broke it. Oh, no wonder everything's freaking out. Okay. Well, that's a bit of a bummer. Okay. Really, in all of that, it's the RF gels that are the slowdown point? Huh. Only barely, though. Because that's 7.56, so. Alright, well, that's going again. What's our usage rate? Like 45 a minute or so, maybe. But the problem is I need to actually produce it, so we'll see. Let's see how quick it catches up. Okay, but we're moving on to cobalt chromium alloy, which is going to be this guy. That's super easy. It's just chromium, titanium, and supercrystalline structure. I feel like the easy place to do this is just where we've already got supercrystalline structure, which is right here. So I'm inclined to do this here. Especially because it looks like that's not going anywhere right now. 863 a second. It's 1-to-1. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, what was I looking at? I was looking at we get 1-to-1, and I'm trying to figure out if I want to do 2 buildings for this. I think I do. Where was that? Oh, I need coffee bad. Need that coffee. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is we're gonna shift this down a little bit. Then I don't even know what was happening with all of this before, to be honest. So they've got a 5-2, they've got a 5-1, they've got a 5-1, but I feel like this could just be a 3-3 on. We'll put it right there so it's hitting everything. Then these two are gonna be here. Is that a channel 0? Yeah, I don't need it. Okay. Let's do this and this. And then I'm gonna do... I'll do an efficiency in here, otherwise these smelters are gonna use way too much power. And then I guess we can upgrade the smelters just so that I can... I don't know if that's cheaper or more expensive than using tier 2 modules, but I guess that's the choice I made, so here we are. And then super steel seems fine, so I'm gonna worry about that. And then this is the... whatever this stuff is called. I'm gonna use a real belt on the side here. Do that. And then we need the water. There's that. And cobalt oxide also gets direct inserted. And then we've got super crystalline structure, but not quite because we need this belt of stuff. We go here, and then we go like that. Okay, that should do it. Now we've got super crystalline structure on a belt. We'll go here first. Alright, who knows what this is, what situation we're dealing with. It actually looks like those two are still the hang up. So that's good. Now this is an issue. What's that getting hit by? Actually, though, what is it getting? Oh, it's one of these. It's that one. Crazy. Okay. That fixes it. Alright, and then now we should be able to throw in a smelter for the new thing, which is pretty slow, so I'm gonna do 2 of these. And we need chromium and titanium, which we have none of, maybe? We've got chromium, and it's already on a belt going down. So let's boost that up to 32. And titanium is a little trickier. Maybe I just use bots for the titanium. Which one was more? It's actually more titanium. Yeah, I just think bots are gonna be fine for this, so let's go to 200 titanium now. Inserter doesn't seem like it's keeping up. Which is surprising to me, because it's 13.8 items a second. But I might need to copy what this guy's doing and then have it help out. Surely that'll catch up, right? I don't know, logistics here is pretty busy. And we don't need that lime. Okay. I'm gonna say that's good enough, and we're just gonna use some more bots. Down here. On channel 1. Alright, so then these guys need fuel is the main thing. So we'll get that along the top. Wherever this is coming from. And then turn that corner. Then vacuum is also pretty easy. Just need a pressure pump. That's plenty fast enough. And then we do minus 90% usage on that, and then I think I'll bring this down this way. Bring this up this way. Okay. And then this can go in front of these guys. Is there a way to get chromium down there easily? Only if an underground can go across the smelter, which it can. Okay. So in that case... In that case, we will go under the ground. And then we've got chromium here. Which I'll just put on the same belt, because there's really no reason not to. And then we can grab from those, and then we've got a requester chest. Grabbing from that, which remove those requests. Oh, I put the wrong kind of pipe there. There we go. Alright, that's it. And then we'll just do... Oops. Oh, what am I doing? Oh my goodness. Woof. That was chaotic. Alright. Then I will do an output inserter like this. Alright, you know what? I'm just going to use bots. Alright. So there you have it. Titanium, cobalt, chromium alloy done. Get rid of all my randoms. And we need to request that. Is this one full? Why do I have two of them? Honestly, not sure. That one's got some extra garbage for whatever's going on with trashing. Biobatteries and neodymium still struggling after this many hours, but surely that's going to be wrapping up soon, right? We've been making... I guess we had a big downturn, but is that just because they were stocked up? I don't actually know. Huh. Were we out of nickel? Was that the issue? We might have been out of nickel for a while. Okay, this actually needs to be faster. Look. I'm just gonna make this whole thing go a little smoother. So we've got a 4-3. Let's do a 3-4. Okay, they don't like that. Oh, I already have a 3-2. Okay, let's do a 2-4. That seems to be fine. We'll just keep everything going faster and faster. This one's an easy upgrade to slam more efficiency in, because right now it's consuming a lot of fuel. And am I doing ref syngas specifically? Seems dangerous. Did I get some super cheap way to make this now? Maybe this is part of why I'm having syngas issues. Is we're consuming so much refined syngas here, and what are we using for fuel on these guys? Regular syngas? That seems like bad manners. Hold on. We need to be using fluid fuel for these. I think I thought it was fine probably at some point because I was like, oh, it's no big deal because I'm using, whatchamacallit? Okay, hold on. I gotta fix this before I keep talking. I was like, oh, it's no big deal because I've got negative 80% usage, you know, is what I said to myself. Okay, so this is the connection we need to nix. So that stays there, because those actually need syngas. And then the fluid fuel is here. We'll go across, and then up, over, up. This will be a two-way. Anyway, yeah, I mean, at negative 80% usage, I guess it's not that bad to have the syngas or refined syngas being the fuel, but I don't know, it just seems like that was a bad idea. Okay, so then ref syngas, that is an L now. This is an L. It goes in there. This turns a corner down. And then over there, and then down. Okay. That should do it. Ish. Crushed quartz. It's worth looking at quartz one more time just to make sure we're not screwing anything up here. That seems fine. It seems like we're just using a lot of quartz is the simple truth here. So let's beef up a couple more crystal mines. It's just a lot of quartz. Alright. Is there a quartz deposit of any sort? Or quartz reserve? Or is quartz ore the only type of quartz? No, there is a deposit of some sort. I wonder what it's called. Quartz vein. Oh, but that one needs acetylene, so that's a bad idea. I mean, maybe it's not, you know, like... I'm guessing it mines super fast. This one's within range of all these beacons. Look at that. That is kind of absurd, so that's nice. The problem is, that is 204 acetylene, which is not the cheapest. It's not that hard to make that much acetylene, though, in today's day and age. You know, I'm guessing... acetylene. I'm just curious how fast we can get the classic acetylene going. What is that? Tholins? Oh, also tholins to acetylene is pretty good. 7 unit multiplier. Anyway, yeah, so if we do the classic, but with prod, the amount of calcium carbide we need is way down. And then the amount of lime we need is way down. And what was the classic lime? Coke and limestone. Okay, so let's imagine we're tier 2 modules here, and then we've got 4 beacons. Yeah, I mean, 200 acetylene is not that expensive. 7 coke. Which, depending on how you produce it, is pretty cheap. I mean, we've got a million ways to make coke at this point, including, like, residual mixture from... What was it that we could get residual mixture from? Used combs would be an option. You could go bitumen. 1 comb a second could get you 200 acetylene a second. Oh, wait, the used comb just gets you coke on top of bitumen. Oh, wait a second. Oh, that's instead of recycling it for wax. Oh, that would be a bad idea, though, I think. I don't know, because now there's other ways to make wax, right? What are the other... No, I guess we do need the used comb back to wax. I'm thinking of honey. We get more honey as well. No, because the wax barrel comes from Arcad honey barrels. So actually, we could just turn the used combs into coke instead. And doesn't the coking gas oil make like a crap ton of coke? Yeah, that makes a coke for every 4 units. So that's 1 more coke. And then residual oil makes residual mixture at 2 to 1. So that's 4 more residual mixtures. So that's another like 10% boost. Repeating, which is an 11% boost. So that's really like 7, 8, 9-ish coke from 1 used comb. That's not actually that much. Anyway, I was just curious how easy it is to make 200 acetylene. I'm going to ignore those other 2 for now, and we're getting close. Now we just need carbon nanotubes, which probably should be done where the biopolymer is made. Seems reasonable to do it here. We've already got the vanadium pentoxide. So let's throw in, I'm just gonna put that inside of a doodad. And then we're gonna add carbon nanotubes. Nanotubers. 2 a second, maybe? I don't know. And 3-3 beacons aren't all that effective. They only get us to plus 8% speed, so. Okay, so that is using a lot of the biopolymer, so we can't do much more than this. We do need coke. I could reduce my coke usage. It feels silly to do so. And then we're just requesting vanadium. We already have milfees and in-bit matrix. All right, this is super chill. And we need methane as a fluid. So I am going to put another set of stuff here. So we're gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna do like 6 spaces just to have enough. I really should have changed this filter before I copied it all. What's something we'll never bring in? Water. Water we'll never bring in. All right, so water. I'm just gonna get power solved once and for all. And then these need to connect up through to this line. So we can just do this. And then these need to be wired across. Perfect. Okay, so now we've got a lot more fluids here, and we're gonna do, we said methane. So methane, request, and then I mean, this really is this simple, isn't it? I feel like I might as well make 2, leave space for a beacon someday, and just call it a day. Now, do we need this crap for anything else? No. There's a turd recipe, there's making proton receiver. Wait, proton receiver. Proton donor and proton receiver. Interesting. Proton receivers are cheaper somehow. Interesting. Huh. I'm still not convinced that any of these are worth it just because this is kind of expensive. Can that be prodded? If it can be prodded, no, okay. I figured you couldn't. It would be weird if you could. Alright, carbon nanotubes. I have this feeling we're gonna need a lot of them. And these don't spoil? Yeah, they don't spoil, so don't need to worry about that. And then, okay, so then we're gonna do this guy, and we gotta go all the way to the other side, which is here. Okay. So there's methane, and then make sure we have bot coverage for everything up here. Gosh, these Nexalit substations are so cool. I am a massive fan of them. I'm also a massive fan of the fact that I don't have to care about power anymore, which means I should probably make more use of like 5.5 beacons. And I think this generates more power than it uses, right? Because it makes 2 of these a minute. Well, technically 2.4 of these a minute. Automated insertion limit is 5. How did we end up with 50? Apparently they just fully buffer. That's kind of annoying. Very wasteful. Though it does mean the buffer here can be smaller. Since that's its own buffer. But yeah, I mean, 40 gigawatts, how many 5.5 beacons is that? What's a 5.5 beacon cost? A third of a gigawatt. So we can make 120 5.5 beacons. That's, yeah, I feel like I should do higher FM numbers now. Like instead of a 3.3, I should be using a 3.4. If I was using a 3.4, now I should use a 3.5. The AM is kind of more based on, you know, what the building needs, but can I run 2 of the, okay, here's the next question. So per hour, we need 91 fuel rods, which if you quadruple that, we need 365 237s. So this is enough for 1 building, but not 2. Because this needs 731, and that's not making 731. If I do another speed module, is it 731? We won't know until it arrives. I really wish PRCE had a math function the same way. Like, if PRCE had these 2 functions the same way that RateCalc does, I don't need the capacity divisor, but that would be so nice. I guess the speed's gonna increase 60, about by a third. So it'll be about 1.3. 750. And what was this? I think it actually will get there. Now, then that leaves none for Bodos, though. And I don't need the power yet. So, for now, we'll chill. Okay, anyway. Still haven't got enough aerogels either. Wait, did I break something? Ah, garbage town. How did this get super steel in it? Actually, I have no idea. Weird. Okay. That one was kind of not my fault. Oh, these go in magnetic cores too. That's part of the buffering. Or the problem. I don't even know, but let's just do that and help out a little bit for the future. Wait, bio batteries store 600 megajoules? What? How did I miss that these could go in my equipment grid? Oh, but they take 3 times the space. Still though, that's better. That's twice the density. So then, if it's twice the energy density... Oh no, but I'll need to arrange things differently. Interesting. I mean, we'll get there eventually. I think we're doing okay on all of that. Anyway, the Milfies. That name still cracks me up. We need a request. Let's see. I think 5 stacker is fine. Because each stack is 6 minutes. Well, let's just go for like 8 versus 5. Just to have a little bit of a buffer there. And then we need the same amount of nin-bit matrix, which, did we already have that? We do not. Okay. So there's those. And then we need coke, which we don't seem to have. Do we have a generate coke from nothing build yet? I feel like we've talked about it. It could be nice for relatively small amounts of coke like this. Because coke can be made in so many ways. I wonder which one's the easiest to generate from nothing. Probably just coal, because coal can come from wood. But even wood from nothing isn't that easy because you need moss for the tree seeds. So, I don't know. I don't think from nothing has that much value. It's just kind of nice. Alright, coke. We'll do 10. And then 13. Is 3 stacks enough? We need a little more of a buffer than that. We'll do 16. Okay. That's all we need for that, and then be able to channel oneify those. Just do a full 100, and then for these, do everything but that. We'll do like that much. So it's a little over a minute of production. Trash unrequested. That way we'll get rid of... I do need a storage on channel 1. Because it's going to want to trash the unrequested, but they'll have nowhere to go. I guess the requester would pick it up. Never mind. Because we do have the requester for BioCrud. I also added this after the episode was over. So if when these spoil to rich BioCrud, they'll stay rich BioCrud here, but then eventually that'll spoil into BioCrud, and then that gets offloaded into this provider. So it all should work without a storage, actually, now that I think about it, but I'm going to build it just to be sure. And then we need carbon nanotubes at 2,000? How much do we need of these? No, I might need way more. These go into a few different blue buildings. It's really hard to know. They're not that expensive. Because everything that it requires has so many steps of productivity. I'm just going to go ahead and say 4,000. We'll just build up that buffer now. Once you build up the buffer, you've got that done forever. And just a reminder, why are buffers helpful? Because I'm actually anti-buffer in normal Factorio play. Like when I've played Factorio in the past, I've always been against buffers. But in a game like pyanodon's, there's a really real reason why you actually want buffers. And it's because you end up with... one reason is for LTN purposes, or Cybersyn, or whatever it is we're using. So when you've got multiple train pickups that want to happen at the same time, and they each want to pick up 2,000 units, even if your average production is fine, those train pickups wanting to come at the same time are going to cause an issue. So the only way to fix that is if your buffer on the receiving end is large enough to handle waiting for half an hour for this to fill back up to 2,000 units. Let's say that was the amount we had, and we had 2 different requests for 2,000 units. And, you know, it's like, you don't want to wait that long. So having a bigger buffer on this part, I think, is better than having a big buffer on the receiving end. I mean, it depends on how you look at it, but if you have 5 different things that want carbon nanotubes, I think it's better to have the big buffer here at the source than having every single thing on the receiving end have half an hour of unneeded buffer. I think either one is possible. You have the same net result, which is that production doesn't stop. But I think this version's better. Anyway, I also wanted to add to this network. I meant to do this before. Add 20 more bots to this, because I actually think this network needs it. And they're also getting overworked a little bit because of what's going on over here right now with these guys. Or are they done already? How did that happen? There must have been a momentary little lapse where it got connected to the wrong thing. I mean, that has to be how it happened, because it's fine now. So it must have gotten hooked up. You know that when you're deconstructing and reconstructing pipes, it does that weird thing. Now, the titanium cobalt chromium alloy needs to go in here. That one we don't need 2,000 of. Titanium cobalt chromium alloy I think we do want 2,000 of, because doesn't this show up in like a bunch of buildings? Yeah, it shows up in chem plants, which we use a lot of, and it's 40 each in a chem plant, so that'll be, yeah, 2,000's actually a reasonable thing. And then let's get the auto mall requesting some of these things. We already know we're gonna need biopolymer. We're gonna need another requester soon. Honestly, I'm just gonna add one now, just because I know we'll need it. Okay. And then you will request, you're at 394, yeah, that's crazy. It's also crazy that's only 279 when this is at 394. Huh. That's really interesting. I mean, I guess every single item is missing some amount of stacks. Still feels like less than I would have anticipated, but I guess it makes sense. Most of the requests are basically one extra stack, so it'll empty out most of the way. So this one's almost done, actually. So we'll request cobalt, chromium, titanium, cobalt, chromium alloy. We'll do 10 stacks of that, and we'll do 11. And then we'll do carbon nanotubes. Wait, these are used in buildings, right? Yeah. Soil extractor, quenching, thickener, compressor. Some tier 3 mushroom buildings. Oh, the gene labs are going to be important. Not a ton of buildings, though, actually. Incubators. Oh, and then I guess tier 3 bots. So we're gonna need those. Carbon nanotubes. How many though? I didn't look. 30, 30. 3 and 4 for those. 20. I feel like we can do 10 stacks with 8. Like we're gonna use a few less of these than the other one. And then biopolymer. I'm just gonna do 6 stacks at a time because it spoils and that's annoying. So then we're gonna have to get rid of spoilage. And put that in a little provider for channel 1. Are we dealing with spoilage at all in here yet? I don't think we are. Feels like a good thing to upgrade while I'm sitting here looking at all of it. So then what do we do about that? I think the amount of biocrud spoilage here is going to be very low, to the point where it's probably not worth There actually is no good way to make rich biocrud. That is kind of interesting. For now, I'll ignore it, but there's a world where later I actually need to worry about that. Now, I'll just add another one. I was thinking about using that one down there, but we'll just add a new composting section to down here. It almost fits. Here, we do that. We need an inserter here. And then we need channel 1 to just barely... Okay, it looks like that is part of channel 1. Perfect. So then, request on channel 1. Nope. That's not what I wanted. Sorry. I need to add a requester on channel 1. What? Oh, wow. That sprite is very rough. Look at that. That looks like a whole tile of space right there. Huh. I don't know how I don't feel like I've noticed that before, how bad the pump jack sprite is in terms of showing its hitbox. But that's pretty bad. Alright, so there's channel 1, and you're going to request biocred and be done with it. Okay, carbon nanotubes done. Biopolymer and carbon nanotubes now showing up. Aerogel just came up as another request, so we must have gotten a delivery at least. That's good. Chromium? Question mark? It's actually possible because we haven't no, there's something off with that. We've got plenty of chromium. This must be this station. Yeah, it's already requesting other things. What station is it? This one? Okay, we can help this one a bit. We'll double the unloading speed. Also, it's extra busy right now, which it won't always be. So that's part of it. Someday those bio batteries and magnets will be finished, I believe. Okay, so anyway, Biotech 3 and Advanced Robotics. I didn't realize we get both at the same time. I guess we had it on our list, but we don't even need a research in between them. So yeah, I think we're ready for this one. Let me just double check my science count. Oh yeah, 4,800, we got plenty. Crazy. Okay, so we're about to have... Now, Renea, was that the one we were thinking about upgrading? Actually is the There's so many items, it's hard to cross compare. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ingredients. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The CO2 is new, and the blood meal is new, but that's it. 3 blood meal for 18, yeah, seems like a fine trade-off. It's 10 every 80 versus 18 every 60. I think that's double the speed, basically. It's 1.8, and then 3/4, which is 4/3. 9/5 times 4/3 is 36/15. Yeah, that's more than double the speed. Plus it saves on pesticide, lignin, and manure bacteria. That's not a bad deal. Okay, so Renea 3 is probably going to be important. Why don't we queue that up? Because that's an easy change to make. CO2 I can make from biomass from... Surely I have biomass here. Yeah. And then blood meal we can just request. So let's see, blood meal. I'm assuming I don't have it here already. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, okay. Let's beef up that request just slightly because that's going to be for CO2. And then one on that. Blood meal. And let's see. We've got pesticides going to 30, so let's say blood meal to 30 as well. Because isn't it like the same? No, 50% more. So 45. Okay. Blood meal. Stacks, and then that should be good. Then to make the CO2, I already have right here. And then this CO2 is already going up and around, so we've already got it right there. What I don't know is where the CO2 input's going to be. That is, I guess, a time for using recipe book here. So it's going to be, oh, along the front as well. Interesting. So I need to revamp. Ugh, I'll do that myself. Okay. And then we'll probably need to be done with this episode before we can get a ton of new biotech buildings going. What was the most important one? It's the research centers are easily the most important. So let's get those crafting in the auto mall first. Okay. So there's that. I presume we haven't gotten our shipment of that cobalt chromium alloy yet. Gotta be close though. Wait, I don't have molybdenum plates? In the auto mall? No way. That's crazy. Nothing here has ever needed molybdenum plates. That's really hard to believe. That's like surprisingly hard to believe here. Wow. I'm very shocked at that. But we'll bring in molybdenum, I guess. That's crazy. Huh. Okay. Well, there you go. Okay, anyway, back to Renea. So, hop out of this. And there we go. Okay, what I was thinking is we just need to move these a couple tiles like that. But it's way easier to do that manually. Because then all the items that I pick up are going to be in my inventory and I can dole them back out to the buildings. Okay, so there's that, and then does the substation reach across everything? It sure does. We'll do a couple of those. And then I don't need to worry about these guys. So cool. And now we can do one of these. Okay, and then that is CO2. Oof, where do we connect? I guess right here? Yeah. Okay. So if I didn't screw this up, we should be able to switch to recipe 3 and it all just works again. Ingredients and bada bing bada boom. As far as input rates, those are gonna go up slightly, or are they? Because it's twice as fast, but like, but not really, you know what I mean? Like the output rate is faster, but the items that we're putting in is only 3 more total items for every craft. I guess it is 4/3 times faster, but yeah. We're doing fine on that. Okay, so that should get everything going. It's a question of lignin rate at this point. It does need 4 lignin a second. Which not really sure. Let's go for 200 here. Okay. Are we dealing with cellulose spoilage? Yeah, we need to keep that on one item only or we're gonna get screwed over. We do end up with cellulose. Where's it going? Oh, lignin just decays into biocrud too. Okay, perfect. Never mind. We're fine. We're fine. Okay. Looks like I need more fertilizer, maybe? Just gonna boost all these numbers up a little bit. Hopefully that can keep everything running. Looks like we're close. These 4 aren't quite running with fertilizer, so... And I just doubled that, right? We'll go a little higher. Should be plenty. Did I double it? I don't actually know what I just did. Oh, what was the number before? I have no idea. We need 3 times as much fertilizer as blood meal, but I don't know if I actually need 60 blood meal is the thing. Let's just go to 100 and call it a day. The other thing is the Renea seeds and course fraction. Those should probably just be on stacks here. Then I can go like 200, and then I can go like 50. What's the ratio there? We actually need more seeds then. Should go the other way. Okay, and then having a couple stacked items should free up the belt quite a bit. So I'm just gonna say that that's probably good enough. Renea production. Previously at 180 a minute. Now we're looking at, yeah, more than double that. Sweet. Okay, we need to be done with the episode. Get rid of that. And then finally, I guess the first thing to do would be this, but it's still not done yet. And the reason is the titanium, cobalt, chromium. Okay, they are still running. Good news. And we're almost there. We're at 918. I think 1,000 was our cutoff. So yeah, in the next episode, we will be probably spending the whole time just upgrading Biotech, the high leverage Biotech buildings, because there's a lot of important stuff in here. I mean, we've got gene labs have some expensive stuff, research centers have some expensive stuff, bioreactors have some stuff. I think we might have an incubator or two. The rest of them are mostly not proddable. I know atomizers are, but they're not doing a ton that's expensive or important these days. And then some biofactories too. So yeah, that'll be great. And then I guess at that point we have our gene lab upgrade, which we can just take a quick look at before we... Gene lab, not bio. What do gene labs do? Okay. As far as I can tell, what that does is it gives you 50% more Atom 42 gene samples for the cost of 1% of a personal laser defense. That seems good. And I'm guessing that's what all of these are? No. That adds nickel carbonyl as part of the cost for doubling your PKSs. Seems pretty good. The cost here isn't super high, though, unless these are expensive, which they kind of are. But there's an alternative recipe that we unlocked, apparently, which is much cheaper. Turns 1 Bodos and some tailings into 2 resveratrol. Okay, so then there's that, and then finally this one gets you a lot more HMAs for the cost of, it looks like just the PvP. Which ones are the chimeric proteins? Oh yeah, the ethanol and ethylene glycol. Not the cheapest. Retrovirus is cheap though. Okay, and the alternative is this one, which requires PvP, which is not bad in that front. I assume that's even proddable. Is that proddable? Yeah, so that's not bad, but what's the cost of this? Also not bad. Especially because I'm guessing this is proddable. And I'm guessing this is proddable. Yes, and yes. Okay, yeah. So the cost of all that ends up being pretty low after all those prod steps. So those are all good. It's just a question of which one is needed the most, and I just have no idea. So it feels like we kind of need to wait, because I'm not using any of these things yet. And I mean, the Atom 42 gene samples seem the most expensive. But if I don't use very many of them, having 50% more of them doesn't really matter. It doesn't help my base that much, right? If we end up, even though these are cheaper in a general sense, if we need like 5 a second PKSs, but we only need 0.1 a second of these, you know, this is going to be the better upgrade. So it's just hard to know at this point. So I probably won't do this research. Like this one seems pretty good too, because that almost halves the cost of HMAs. Because that PvP is close to free. And these are used in... Oh, they're only used in making these enriched biomasses. Interesting. Wait, you can burn silver enriched biomass? Oh, they probably all have a field value. It feels like I almost need to look at every single enriched biomass and see what they're used for. Easier to go like this. Because some of them are used in actual recipes. Like the zinc one, the niobium and aluminum all go to enriched ash. And some of them go to these enriched moondrop flowers, which can have uses. Like zinc gives you kerosene. I'm not worried about, you know, upgrading stuff in the long run. Salt enriched biomass, I guess, is a way to make salt, but is that really worth it? Probably not. There's the iron enriched moondrop flowers that make fuel oil. I just don't think I need to worry about that. I'm going the nuclear power route. Cobalt enriched makes diesel. Oh, there is this. That is a different way to make cobalt extract. Still not that much though. You only get 2 from 25. So that would get you not even 3. I don't know if that's going to be worth it, even with the HMAs. What's gold enriched do? That gets you gasoline. I don't know if that HMA one is going to be that needed. It just doesn't feel... like I'm gonna need tons and tons of all this. So probably not the HMA one is kind of the basics on that. Okay, we are out of lignin. Probably just because the rate is too low. Or the rate here is 5.8, so that maybe 250. Because that rate is bigger than this rate. Those only consume 4.1. We should be fine. Oh, we just have enough Renea. I see. Wait, what Renea is it measuring? Oh, it's measuring Renea on the belt. I guess that's part of the problem. We have a crap ton of Renea. Wait, what's stopping the Renea from... Oh, right. The lignin. I guess that's going to be a little bit of a problem, isn't it? Here, let's upgrade this and this so that flows a little bit faster into this chest. Oh no, it's measuring what's in the chest. Okay. Let's say less than 600. Let's call that the number we're shooting for, so there's a bit longer of a ramp there. Anyway, okay, I need to be done with this episode. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next one. Oh, wait, no, wait. We built it. I didn't know we built it. There it is, our first research center, tier 3. 20% more free prod science, and we can do that for so many expensive things. It's gonna be great. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.